They reached America nearly 500 years before Columbus, and they were driven out. Not by an empire, not by cavalry, not by an army of steel, but by people who knew the land and turned forest, rivers, and silence into a weapon. And when the Vikings finally understood, it was already too late. If you like true history with real tension, subscribe. Year 1000, the North Atlantic. For the Norse, the world had already expanded. They'd pushed out from Scandinavia, routes, ports, coastlines. Now there was a new promise, a land far west, Vinland. Forests, rivers full of fish, even wild grapes according to the stories. It was everything Iceland and Greenland weren't. In ice, you survive. With wood, you build a future. Vikings were warriors, yes, but they were also settlers. They arrived, they established, and they stayed. This wasn't a raid, it was permanence. After early reports, Thorfinn Karlsefni led the biggest attempt. 3 ships, roughly 140 people, men, women, children, tools, and animals. That's not looting, that's a colony. At first, it worked. The locals, called Skrælings in the sagas, appeared at the shore, watching, measuring. There was trade, furs for cloth, goods for food. 2 worlds trying to understand each other. For a moment, Vinland looks possible. Then comes the detail that changes everything. A Norseman kills a local. The sources don't clearly explain why. The motive gets lost. But the effect doesn't. The body drops, and the watchers vanish into the trees. The settlement continues. Longhouses, crops, livestock, routine. Until that morning. Fog on the river. Dozens of canoes appear, silent, fast, like shadows. The Norse do what worked in Europe. Shields up, a tight wall, spears ready. They expect a charge. It never comes. Instead, they're surrounded. Arrows from every direction. No open field, no enemy in front. They try to advance, the canoes pull back. They try to chase, the shoreline becomes forest, and the dread clicks in. They have defense, but they don't have territory. Now begins the kind of war Europeans hated. No decisive battle, only erosion. One man goes for water, doesn't return. Another goes hunting, disappears. Days later, a body is found, an arrow in the neck, like the forest returning a message. Livestock turns up dead, close enough for the smell to reach camp. Not vandalism, a statement. We control everything around you. They send patrols into the trees, and the trees swallow them. Or they return shaken, claiming attacks from nowhere. Because here, the enemy doesn't need to show itself to win. It only needs to stay close enough that you never sleep in peace. Then comes the cruelest weapon, night harassment. Sounds in the dark, shouts, thuds, wood snapping. They rush out with torches. Nothing. Silence. They go back inside. The sounds start again, and again. Without sleep, the brain breaks. Fear becomes anger. Anger becomes fighting. Fighting becomes mistakes. That's what attrition does. It doesn't kill you fast. It dismantles you. If you're into this, subscribe. The most unbelievable moment is still coming. Then comes the most shocking episode. The sagas say that during one attack, as men pulled back and panic rose, Freydis, wounded and bleeding, grabbed a sword and advanced alone, screaming, striking the blade against her chest. The attackers pause, then retreat. Not because they fear steel, because they recognize something war can't predict: unpredictability. That moment saves the camp, but it also reveals the truth. If that's your best defense, the colony is already lost. Karlsefni gathers his people, and the choice isn't courage, it's math. They could win a clash, but this war doesn't end. No final victory, no day of conquest, just daily erosion in someone else's land against an enemy who chooses when to appear. Children traumatized, adults sleepless, fear normal. Vinland is fertile, but it becomes a place where you wake up expecting to lose someone. So they do the unthinkable. They leave. They abandon what won't fit. They return to Greenland, ice and stone, but at least an ice you understand. The sagas call them Skrælings, a Norse label, not a real name. And the truth is, we don't know for sure who they were. There are hypotheses, not certainty. But the rule is clear. You don't have to win the battle to win the war. You just have to make staying impossible. That's exactly what happened. The Vikings, who terrorized half of Europe, found a limit across the ocean. Not a wall, not an army, the land, time, fear. What would you do? Stay or leave? Comment stay, leave.